Greetings and welcome to Dr. Jane Mackenzie live on a Thursday, talking about miracle medicine, breakthroughs, pioneering, 365, healthy by choice, nutrients, food state, plant-based, quantum state, natural, unique, pure, and all the wonderful things that happen at the Bryanston 365 Healthy by Choice Center, including our intravenous oxygen drip clinic for chronic disease, long-term COVID, and everything else. Today, I'm going to be talking about the question I posed: does duality heal us? Why are we at war? And I've been wanting to talk about this topic for a few weeks now, but here we are. I'm going to give it to you. I'm ready. Because now more than ever before, humanity must embark on a profound journey of self-discovery to remember who we truly are while we are here experiencing the earthly paradigm. I wonder if you have considered this. Far too often we are chasing fleeting pleasures, status, possessions, consumerism, distractions, mistaking them for happiness, while neglecting the very true things that bring us true fulfillment. Unconditional love, gratitude, empathy, creativity, freedom, and joy are the existential forces that lead us to an understanding of who I am. Yet we push them aside in pursuit of the superficial, experiential world of duality. Duality meaning that good and bad are at opposing ends of a continuum, as opposed to part of the same in non-duality. And I'll explain a little bit more about that in a moment. It's time to holistically re-orientate ourselves with our true essence, discover our purpose, and self-transform, giving up judgment, reaction, and moving to a centered space of action but no action. This is called wu-wei in ancient Eastern philosophies. Action but no action. Only then when we know who we truly and authentically are. So let's pause, reflect, and reconnect. That's what this evening is about. I'm going to start off with my slides. I'm going to explain a whole lot of things to you, including an awesome case study. So just bringing in the slides. So the HILO, the holistic integrated epigenetic life orientation process that we use, follows 4 major steps: reset, restore, rejuvenate, and rejoice. And within the process of HILO, we look at our quantum assessments and treatments, our live blood analysis, our 365 healthy by choice nutrients, the holistic ancestral orientation, emotional release. I'll be speaking a lot about that. Our intravenous oxygen drips, our acupuncture work, which is nonverbal, same as the quantum assessments, our infrared light therapy. So these are some of the modalities that we bring into the whole dimension of holistic integrated epigenetic life orientation. And I draw on my doctoral thesis, a multidimensional holistic quantum well-being framework, which is named HILO. High and low. So there's a constant interplay between high and low, and with epigenetics in the center. So how do we boost our physical, neurological, and emotional well-being and achieve enhanced life force through introspection, raised awareness, and consciousness? So moving through, I'm wanting to have a look at HILO. It's actually that halo over there. If you have a look at the Greek interpretation of the word HILO, it's that halo over there above the ice, the tip of the ice. So there's a whole lot underneath the ice, and I've got another picture to show you with looking at the depth of that. But what we're really looking at with the HILO is the high and the low, and the good and the evil, the anger and the joy, and then the epigenetic transformation out of that, raising our life force, raising our awareness and our consciousness. And I think that the yin yang is exactly what I need to demonstrate the work that I do, which is based in ancient Eastern holism. So our DNA, our organs, our body, the trees, the nature is all in the DNA yin-yang unified binary orientation. So I just wanted to bring that in to show you that we are already in the quantum field. And we don't even know it. We already exist in the morphogenic, Akashic record, universal field, where culminating in the 0 point of consciousness. So we are already there. It's nothing new. And this is how we operate. We operate from the central point of stillness, unconditional love, freedom, joy. And that is the true healing that we bring about, sustainable healing. And then just to orientate yourself with the yin and the yang. So we've got a negative, feminine, passive, introspective, retreating, quiet, stillness, flexible, intuitive, dark, night, cold, soft aspect. And we've got the positive, masculine, active, expressive, advancing, loud, movement, rigid, logical, light, day, hot, hard aspect of the male and the female in unity. Unified, binary, unity. That is the circle around the yin and the yang. And when you spin the yin and the yang, you're going to get one. So that is the unification we're talking about, as opposed to duality, where you have good and evil, anger and sad. Anger and joy, happy and sad, fear and courage. So when we're looking at unifying, they are not at opposite ends of a long continuum. They are centered together. And I'll show you how we use that in our evidence-based medicine. So here is this multidimensional holistic quantum well-being framework I spoke about, going through the reset, restore, rejuvenate, and rejoice process, bringing in body, mind, emotion, and spirit, and raising our consciousness to achieve levels of peace, joy, happiness, freedom, and unconditional love. And the epigenetics is on the side, which is constantly shifting. Bearing in mind that we're bringing into this world the epigenetics of parents, our grandparents, and further back than that, plus the epigenetics that we have picked up this lifetime. So I'm representing what I've understood and what I see in practice. Yours may be the same or slightly different. That's fine. Let me know. I'd love to learn. As I learn, you learn. As you learn, I learn. But we're operating within this a couple of dualities. The one big duality is the experiential process happening on Earth versus the existential reality, which is in the Akashic record, which is unary, binary, non-locality, non-duality. And for whatever reasons, we chose to be born into this earthly plane and experience duality maximum. And that's what we're looking at in this world today. The war, the East-West war, the male-female war, the racial wars, the religious wars, etc. It's all about duality. None of it is about unification. And we wanted to experience this as humans so that we could raise our consciousness, raise our awareness, raise our consciousness, because in the experiential field, the morphogenic field, the Akashic record field, everything is in binary unity, where resistance is created, let's say, between happiness and sadness. And that resistance, once we learn why it's there, what the message is, we can then raise our awareness and our consciousness. So I see why that person brought about the feeling of sadness within me. They did that so that I could learn joy. And when we understand the drama, the story that people have experienced, it's merely the symptom, but the symptom will lead to the real cause. And I always say, are you sick and tired of being sick and tired? And have you bought every bottle that you can imagine? That bottle to lose weight, that bottle to sleep. Then we need to look underneath at the real realities, the real root causes. And this holistic ancestral process came to me as a gift from heaven, really, where I'm now able to go beyond the physical assessments, which were incredibly successful, but understand the experiential dynamic behind it all. And I really do thank that opportunity for me to do my doctorate in order to understand ancient Eastern holism, Taoism, and match it with quantum physics and get the quantum physics to measure and validate from an evidence point of view ancient Eastern holism. So they're talking about the same things. Modern day quantum physics is talking about the same principles as ancient Eastern Taoism, that everything is energy, everything is connected. We hear in binary unity as opposed to the duality. So the understanding I have is that we chose this extreme duality, coming from unity into this extreme duality, to take ourselves into an even higher level of consciousness and unity. So wow, if you understand that, you understand all the people that stood up and said, I will teach her abandonment, I will teach her rejection, I will teach her sadness, I will show her betrayal. And then suddenly there's no blame anymore, because you understand the game of life. You understand why we're here, and you understand who's pitched up to teach you something. So instead of blaming them your whole life and going into your grave, still blaming people for doing things, we sit back and we say, hold on, where's the origin of all of this? And we reach out deeper into and beyond the epigenetics of your current life into the epigenetics of parents and grandparents and so on, until we find that origin. That war in some European country, or that famine in another country, whatever the experiences was. And over the last 2,500 years, we've all been displaced. We've all experienced either people on foot setting foot to go to other lands, people getting on boats to go to other lands, looking for a better life, and being displaced, being invaded. And so we share all this. If we're existing in unified binary unity in the quantum field, then we've all experienced everything. So just imagine, we've all experienced everything, let's just say for the last 2,500 years, because that's what's measurable at the moment. We can identify with each other. And these are all layers within layers. So epigenetics is above genetics. It's more than. And epigenetics is responsible for distortion in the genetics on an emotional level. We also get toxic distortions in our genetic makeup and chromosomes, such as radiation, such as specific viruses and toxins that are engineered to cause distortions. But the main distortion will happen via from the emotional realm, from the quantum field. And these are lessons to learn. And how many generations have gone before us where the lesson hasn't been learned? Many, many, many sometimes. So here we are on earth today, experiencing the duality, having come from our roots, which is existential unity, being disconnected from self in order to experience duality, understand the harshness of duality, to raise our awareness even more into higher states of consciousness as we deepen and deepen. And I mean, who knows where consciousness leads us? At this stage, we're not sure. But that's okay too, because we will at some stage. So that is my explanation, and that is why we are experiencing Eastern and Western wars, if you like, because it's just a reflection of an inner war within us. So the outer reflection is what's going on inside us. And when we can overcome that by understanding what the reason for the tension, the reason for the resistance, we've understood the game of life. And we can see externally from a geopolitical point of view, the shift towards the turning point. The harsher it gets, I'm not in favor of it, but the harsher it gets, the more close we are getting to converging into the turning point and diverging into new consciousness. So we were put on this earth at this particular point in time to experience this, the nature of this duality. We all set it up. We own it. We are responsible. So we need to work with it. And we need to honor everyone and everything. Those that put up their hands and said, we will teach the world about poisons. We will teach the world about deception. We will teach the world about discernment. We will teach the world about purity. And every one of us is a player in this game. So therefore, we need to honor the rich and the poor, the good and the bad, all together in unity as one, and see the resistance as part and parcel of our own development, our understanding of who we are, and in a means to raise our life force. Life force is our consciousness, the spin of the vortex, the golden mean vortex within us, the scalar wave around us. That's what this is all about. And I've discovered this as I've gone on my own journeys of self-discovery. And I'm able to teach it because this, I think, is the essence. By the way, there's no book written on this. This has come out of having done my doctoral thesis, and the people that I know that have been instrumental, wise people guiding me through this process, where I can simplify it and share it and teach it. So that's really what we're looking at in this world that where we find ourselves right now. So my framework is an opportunity to for you to understand yourself, to self-discover, to self-transform, everything that I talked about in the beginning. And the more you work with it, the more you can deepen into your own holistic epigenetic life orientation system. And again, you see, I've incorporated the yin and the yang here. So we would start the consultation or the training with an inquiry, and we would see. And for example, today there was a man online. We were doing actually a quantum medical assessment on the SKIO QUEX EPEX. And an awake and aware person, he's done work, understood, he's gone through the depths and he's gone through the highs of life, but still in a duality mode, understanding there's a consciousness, but not being able to really put it together. So he said to me, well, you know, Jane, I'm doing all this, but quite honestly, I really still don't know why I'm here and my path, my purpose. I've no understanding at all. So I said to him, well, if you do believe that we're here for a purpose and so on, you know, it's to find your path can be an option. To find your path would be to have a look at your passion. So he said he doesn't know what that is. He said he just works day after day. The children come, they go, he works, and he works. And I said to him, if you went to a bookshelf, what book would you choose? So he said, you know, I would choose fantasy, sci-fi, imagination, creativity. So I said to him, well, that's amazing. I said, would that bring joy to you to choose a book like that? He said, absolutely. So I said to him, well, you've already led yourself straight down your own path, straight into the universal field of existential existence, because that is infinite. That is creativity. That is sci-fi, if you like. It is about passion. It is about what we need to do. And it's unique for each person. I don't think we're all born with exactly the same pathway, but the modality to get there is the same. And we started talking some more. And he said to me, it's making sense. I'm understanding you. And I said to him, there's no school that's going to teach you this. There's no textbook that's absolutely going to teach you this. I said, the field will teach you. That is where I've got my knowledge. I mean, I don't claim it. It's not mine. I just want to thank the wise sages and people that have come before me, and all the people around us, because we're playing that game and we're getting through it. And then he started understanding. And I said to him, you know, it's like a river flowing, not getting stuck behind the rocks or anything. It flows around. It sees the rocks not as challenges and mistakes and problems, but as opportunities to learn. And the water might vortex while the quantum collapse is happening in the quantum field, and you're raising awareness and consciousness, and then the river carries on. So see yourself as a leaf on this river that's just meandering. Where it's going, it doesn't know. We don't have to know. There's no time expectation. And if you can keep yourself as this leaf flowing and meandering, and if you get to an end, you just start again. I'm just saying. So this is the imagery that I was depicting. And he got it. And I said to him, you absolutely launched into your passion, your pathway. So if we get that, and that is our pathway, how do we then achieve it? And that's where this high-low process comes in, because it's a process of an iterative process of self-discovery, self-awareness, a continued deepening of understanding who I am. If we get that and we understand that, we reach a space of unconditional love, peace, freedom, joy. And that's the beauty of doing this work. So where we are now is we do need a physical purification and an emotional purification. So frequency will get us there, sure, but we're not all there. So we've got to work with the parameters that we have. So we start with this inquiry. It's very easy to get to the passion and so on. But what directly led us there was I kept getting liver and anger. And he said, yeah, I've dealt with it. I said, yeah, but not all, because it's here. Your liver's speaking to us. So when we look on a physical level, we will see the organs in the body, the circulation, the bones, etc., speaking to us. We will also then be able to look at the mental and the emotional aspects related to that and linked via the body. So our physical assessments are very important. They're quantum medicine based. And some of the devices will treat back at the same time. Others will just assess. We'll move in then to the physical purification, mental purification, anxiety, etc., and emotional purification, getting to the origin of that anger. And as I said before earlier, that anger might have stemmed from a father who wanted to leave the shores of some country and go to another country for a better life, and the wife had to go with, and it made her angry because she had to leave her parents behind, for example, her family. So the origin of that anger could be war, could be displacement. So that's where we would need to get to find peace, so that this liver can completely heal. So we can let go of the anger and unite anger with joy in unified binary, non-locality, non-duality. All of this is explained in my doctorate thesis. So this is why I'm using lots of imagery here on yin and yang and the binding of the two. And then we'll look, obviously, within that, the spiritual unification comes in with raised awareness and consciousness. And then people just reassess. The next slide I'm going to share with you is the reset, restore, rejuvenate, rejoice, holistic, integrated, epigenetic life orientation, and the various options that we have. So the quantum medicine assessment and treatment, and these SCIOs, QUEXED, EPEX devices will look holistically. They're the only devices that I know of on the planet that work in real virtual time and read the client's subconscious. And as they pick up and assess that there's an area to rebuild, reassess, realign, give the bioresonance frequencies back. That's what they do. And I've used mine for well over 15 years now. And I really, it's been an asset to me and taught me a lot. We do the live blood analysis, which will validate physically what the quantum assessment shows us in terms of maybe cholesterol, thick blood, fat in the blood, parasites. The nutrients are there as a toolkit to plug and play. So we found the liver was out. We found the blood was thick. So we will start using gallbladder flush, for example. And that's actually exactly what I did do. A liver cleanse, a gallbladder flush. We got a good probiotics in to digest our food, a good flaxseed oil in to get the food absorbed. I always say, let's get the petrol to the engine. We need the food to the cell, and it must go in the cell to make energy. And I then said to him, look, we also do the holistic ancestral emotional release, which I explained. We also have our intravenous oxygen drips, which are miracles in themselves. And it's really for chronic, the CCC clinic, chronic long-term COVIDs, etc., extreme pain, inflammation, degeneration. Acupuncture, all of this is working in the quantum field. Even the nutrients, they are in the quantum state. Food state, plant-based, exactly as nature intended. Acupuncture is also nonverbal. So you're working on physical, neurological, emotional, spiritual all the time, and the nutrients do it the same. The minute you start extracting, freezing, patenting the process that you're using, you've stripped that nutrient of its alignment physically, emotionally, neurologically, and spiritually within the human being. So the power of nature, the DNA and the intelligence is there in the intact plant. When you destroy that, you've destroyed the other dimensions, and the food acts as in a two-dimensional physical space. Who wants that? We need to work with foods that are in the quantum field, in nature's pharmacy. And it's nonverbal. And I sit back and wait. I'm doing no harm. I'm giving the body intelligent foods so that the innate potential of the body can heal. Intelligent opportunities through acupuncture, infrared light therapy, the oxygen drips straight in, and the nutrients. So that is the process. And if I just show you I'll show you in a moment the diagram, but here we have the holistic ancestral orientation, not only for people, but also people within businesses, because you can structure your business in the quantum field as well, which is, this is absolutely amazing. You can test your products, because in the quantum field, you're working with the heart and the gut and the subconscious. In this experiential world that we live in, we're dealing with the mind, the consciousness, the emotions, the judgment. So we need to get out of that and work in the quantum field. And when we do this, it's not I wonder if or doubt. You know it. And it's too incredible. And every time I find it incredible. So I've said here, we have a choice 365 days a year, where prevention is better than waiting for when it's too late. And this leads to self-transformation through self-actualization, understanding who I am. And that is our quest, and it will change and it will shift depending on your work. So if you want to buy products or our nutrients, we get it at the 365 Healthy by Choice website. And what I'm really about is assisting people think clearly and live productively in all areas of their lives. And to do that, we need to do the physical and the emotional purification. And I have a really nice framework to do this. It's documented in my research doctorate, as I mentioned to you. And that's what I want to share with you. I just want to go back a slide or two here and just see, go back to this. So this is the framework. And it's iterative. So as I train you, you train yourself. And then you can do it and you can train others. So this is almost the legacy that I'm leaving. People say, well, who's going to take over from you? It doesn't matter. There's a framework. Pick it up and use it. So I'm really, really grateful and, a sense of true well-being to have done this work. And I urge all of you to sort of listen to what I'm saying and understand the dynamic between duality and non-duality. The duality, happiness and sadness. But non-duality, where happy and sad coexist. That yin and yang that I showed you, when you spin it, it's unified into one. And we need both to create that resistance for us to shift, to go up a notch. And we're happily going along, shift up a notch. So I'm not surprised when clients that I haven't seen for 3 years suddenly pitch up, because there's something big they need to work through. It doesn't matter if you get sick, but what's the message? What's it teaching you? Your child gets sick. What's it teaching you? So the whole time we're in reset mode, if you think about it. But we don't have to go into the blame mode and the hate mode and the anger mode and the sad mode, and the fearful mode. We can remain centered in non-duality, within the world of duality. Let the whirlwind spin around us. Those of you who've done my processes, let the whirlwind spin around you. Be very caring and conscious of what's your business and what isn't. Don't let people draw you into their business, because it's taking you off your path of self-discovery. Who am I? And if things happen, it presses that button and you react, there's something to clear. And we want to move to the state of non-reaction, non-judgmental awareness, where we're operating in the yin and the yang, and from a very centered, still position. And that's what we teach. So with that, I'm going to leave you, and I hope you've made your notes and enjoyed it, and I will see you next week with more. Those of you who want a book, please do. Time is moving, that I can tell you. It is moving fast. And when you do this work, it moves even faster for you. The universe just comes in and moves. So good luck all.